5 years ago, on my 16th birthday, me and a few friends, we went to go see Joker on opening weekend for my birthday. It was really interesting because this movie, I would want to see it for a very long time. I heard I saw the trailers, I heard what it's about, and it was one of my most anticipated movies of that year. And I've been a big Batman fan forever, so I just had to see the movie. I remember back in 2019, there's just so many banger movies in general. We had so many Marvel movies and Disney stuff come out. 2019 was a big year for movies, and it's kind of funny because the year after we had 2020, obviously, there wasn't any movies coming out to theaters. Everything just went to streaming, and 2020 was kind of like a buzzkill when it comes to movies, just because they had so much planned and then they had to delay it. But now we're more on track. We're getting back to normal when going back to movies and stuff. So yeah, 5 years later, 2024, the movies are back in action. We have so many, Barbie and Oppenheimer that came out last year. That was a big success. And even though I don't like those movies, but the movie going experience is still there. And Joker 2 is coming out pretty soon. And in this video, I just want to talk about Joker, the first original movie, and it's kind of the effect it had on cinema and as me as a filmmaker, and just overall and how it impacted the movies. But if you are new to this channel, just in case, my name is Nick Perrin. I'm a filmmaker, content creator, YouTuber. I'm making a feature film and I'm documenting the journey. And I just like to talk about movies and whatever really comes to mind on this channel. So if you like videos like this, make sure to hit subscribe to see more videos like this. So a few days ago, I actually rewatched The Joker after a few years of not seeing it, and it still holds up. It still holds up as a classic. People like to say it's an instant classic, whatever really that means. But I really the biggest thing I took away from it is Joaquin Phoenix is the acting. His acting is amazing in it, and I really love his portrayal of Arthur, the character who becomes the Joker in this version. And it was really interesting. The movie had a lot to say about mental illness and loneliness, and I just really liked the character of Arthur overall, and just his quirkiness and how Joaquin portrayed him. And it was a really interesting movie nonetheless. It gets very dark, and especially when it comes to the loneliness aspect, and he's having these imaginary friends. It gets really, really twisted and weird. But overall, it was a good movie. I really like it. It's fun to watch overall, just seeing the acting and stuff. And obviously Joaquin is in it the whole movie, so obviously you have to have a good actor to backpedal this amazing character. Now, but it's kind of funny because when I did see the movie first 5 years ago on my birthday, I actually didn't really like it that much. It was a little bit weird because I didn't like it right away. It was odd, 50-50 for me. When I first saw the movie, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know if I liked it or didn't like it. It was just an odd movie that I didn't really expect. I think it may have come from unrealistic expectations from trailers, or just kind of how I've been seeing movies at that time. It was an odd movie than what I was expecting. It was more different, and especially when it comes to the more indie aspects of the film. But after watching it a few times, I've grown to love the movie. I think it's an amazing, great movie overall. Joker and the Batman, especially the Batman, those two are great DC movies. Those are the DC movies that especially want going forward, with the rated R stuff. I think that is where they shine more recently. I've seen the movie now a few times, and it just got me thinking what made me grow to love it so much. And I think I go back to when I first was expecting it, when I was first watching the movie back in 5 years ago, back when trailers started coming out. Like I said before in the beginning of this video, I'm a filmmaker more recently, making movies, doing YouTube and stuff. So I've been creating content for a long time. And these last few years, I've always been a fan of movies. I love going to the movie theater, especially growing up, seeing Disney, Marvel, whatever really is coming out. I just loved going to the movies. And this movie came out in 2019. Obviously, that's when a lot of big movies came out, like Star Wars, Toy Story, a bunch of other crap. We had so many bangers and big Hollywood productions that year, specifically in 2019. Whereas when you see the Joker, and it's a lower budget, it's not low budget, but it's a lower budget compared to the Star Wars and Avengers movies. It's not big budget, and that's what I really think it came down to when I first was expecting a movie. I think going into the movie first time, I thought it was going to be more of a crime movie. This guy killing people, maybe robbing banks and stuff. But like the movie wasn't really about that. It's really interesting now I think more about it, because in 2019, where we had all these like big Hollywood productions, like Avengers Endgame, Thanos, the big stuff, Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker, these big Hollywood productions, and then this Joker movie came out in the middle, in the heart of all these big movies that came out. Now, it's ironic because the Joker made more money than all of them combined, since it was a lower budget aspect. It was like a 55 million, everything else was like over like 200, 300 million. So it made way more in the box office compared to these big Hollywood productions, which is kind of funny. But the Joker was very indie. It wasn't like a big budget. It wasn't, like I said before, it's not this crime movie. It's about like this guy in his apartment, and he's very lonely, and he ends up in trouble and stuff, and he ends up killing people. It's a very dark, introspective, like lower budget. It's not larger than life. There's not many action scenes, you know what I'm saying? And come to think of it, like before I watched Joker, I didn't really see like any like low budget indie like other movies, except like Disney, Avengers, Marvel, and Star Wars. Like I didn't watch anything except those movies going to the movie theaters, especially like when I was growing up, my early teen years, and then when I watched Joker, I think that's when I started all of the change, because I think once I saw that movie, I fell more in love with like the indie low budget aspects. And I think this movie really showed me like how movies could be like made, and like how different it could be. Like, it doesn't need to be this larger than life sort of aspect. It doesn't need to be like this big end game, big battle with like, all these superheroes, supervillains. It could be something very like, personal, low key, and, very in touch with reality. And I think that's what this movie does well. It's really in touch with reality and the real world, except like these big Hollywood productions, like I said before, Star Wars and then Avengers and all this stuff. And Joker kind of opened up this whole new world of cinema for me. It opened up these indie low budget movies that I've never seen before. Now I'm more into watching lower budget movies, except watching bigger budget, just because I love seeing even people on YouTube, like especially me, I'm making like low budget stuff on YouTube. I watch other people who make no budget movies, and I think that's a really, really great way of making art. Not everything has to be like larger than life. Not everything has to be this big CGI, like bigger than like, whatever. I think, especially with Joker, it showed what movies could be in the future, and especially like with something that is a part of, Batman and like bigger like property names. Nothing has to be like, it doesn't have to be big, what I'm saying? It doesn't need to be this ginormous crime thriller or whatever. It just has to be something, artistic. And I think I grew more in love with the art in movie these past few years after seeing Joker and a lot of other different movies, especially now making movies myself. I more appreciate the low budget aspects and the simpler things in movies. And in a weird way, I've always wanted to make movies. I love making movies, even like short films, here in the backyard with my friends back in middle school and in high school. It's inspired me more to make movies, and it's shown me like different ways, and it showed me, opened up new doors of new avenues, instead of like, the big Hollywood productions. It could be something a little bit more simple, and I think that's a good thing to show. And it's just shown a lot of people, especially it's shown a lot of people new sides to cinema, and I think that's why it's had a big impact. It's one of the main reasons for me it's had a big impact on me. Not necessarily the movie in general, I really like the movie in general, but just the aspect and the fact that I came in the heart of all these different Hollywood things. And there's a lot going on in 2019, like I said before, all these different movies, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino, a lot of different shit. And this movie came out and it wasn't anything like I expected. And I think it shifted the tide of what I'm more into now, and especially what a lot of people are into. And especially you see more of the rise of, especially A24, the studio, where they make like weird thrillers and like, weird psychological stuff, especially Beau is Afraid, Dream Scenario, a bunch of movies like that. I think it's inspired a lot more people, and it's shown more people this new avenue of filmmaking, especially like if you go backwards, if you go back in time, like Joker was very inspired by like, Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy. I did see The King of Comedy, and that was a pretty good movie. I liked that one a lot, and it was different. And I would never have seen that movie if I didn't see Joker before. So, it's shown me different things, and it's shown me different ways of making movies. And with Joker 2 in a few weeks now, and it's just going to be kind of crazy. This new exciting chapter. I can't wait to see it. I have no idea what to expect. It's going to be kind of crazy with Lady Gaga and stuff, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to do a review, so we'll have to see. And let me know in the comments what you think of Joker. Are you excited for Joker 2? What's your thought on the movie, and if it changed cinema for you or whatever? If you want to take this conversation elsewhere, make sure to join the Discord. And with that being said, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.